Hope you guys are having a great time. Me and a couple of friends have compiled this video. Thomas McLennan, Emily Rattenbury, Hannah Lawrence, and I, David Wijaja, just to present to you how the grassroots unity slash collaboration is happening amongst the young generation, and just encourage everyone on what you guys are doing right now, demonstrating how to unite together, how to build relational unity and collaboration. Emily Rattenbury and I have been working on a camp called Victory Summer School, and their mission statement is to equip the saints for using the fivefold ministry. And we also have Thomas McLennan. Tom and I, along with a couple of other guys from other different churches, actually worked together and collaborated on a program called Strength, which is this youth school development program for young guys to equip them with the tools to becoming men.
Unity is so important, and unity can be such a beautiful thing. And there's different expressions of worship to Christ, different expressions of Christ. And a recent revelation around this and about unity is that we can be expectant when we're working together with other churches on projects or in unity, is that we can actually see more of Christ. We can actually see more of God in different facets, different ways of who God is and who He is, because there is so many different ways, and who God is so multifaceted, and we can actually see that as we come together, and we can be expectant for that. That when we come together, it can be like iron sharpening iron, like where one church expresses and excels in one way and another church expresses and excels in another way. We can show each other different ways of who Christ is, and when we work together and we bring His kingdom to earth, when we advance His kingdom on the earth, that it can actually reveal more of who God is. And I think that's something super beautiful, that unity can actually be such a beautiful thing.
I think the really cool thing I realized about unity after working with Emily Rattenbury was how to be able to collaborate with someone from a completely different church. I remember being a bit stunned by the process of things and going, how should I do this right? And at the core of it is these two concepts that I just love talking about unity, which is unity through collaboration. And the second one is relational unity, which of course, relational unity is when you focus on the relationship to unite rather than on the event that you're working on. So unity is not just like a once-off event and then it's bye, I'll see you later until we do the event again next year, but just the constant collaboration, giving of ideas and, working with each other. How did this idea come about? Tell us a story. So the idea of Strength came about way back when Tom and I finished school. And that was when Tom actually suggested the ideas with 4 other guys. Hey, let's do a Bible study together. Despite that school is finished, we should maintain contact with one another. And we did exactly that. And looking back at it, it was one of the best decisions I've ever heard in my life. Just because it forced a person from Woonona Presby, Wollongong Baptist, an atheist, and me from a little bit of a crazy church, to go into one room and talk about who Jesus is together. And you can imagine being a multi-denominational Bible study. We all had different ideas. And that brought so much flavor into the Bible study and understanding who Jesus was.
It was kind of like that initial year was just growing and challenging and wrestling with a lot of ideas. And we got to a place where we wanted to actually kind of put our faith into practice. And I think it was David who suggested that we do Strength, which is kind of the male equivalent to Shine. And I thought it was a great idea, and all the guys thought it was a great idea. So we kind of also knew that coming out of high school, there wasn't anything that kind of helped inspire young guys to, or even showed young guys why it's important or why it's valuable to have some of the attributes of being a man and taking on responsibility for your life and stuff like that. So, and that was just a natural progression. It was kind of out of that love for discussion, out of that growth of just connecting with one another. We were like, this is an avenue that we can go down. God's calling us to put our faith into action. Let's do it. Let's just, it doesn't matter our differences, doesn't matter what each other's believes. We've got a similar goal that we wanted to inspire kids and teach kind of the fundamental basics of, the Christian belief in some lessons. So that's how that idea kind of came about, and how the Bible study actually grew into something really, really awesome. So yeah, I think the biggest thing we kind of struggled with I kind of struggled with personally, was just that level of confidence needing to go out and to teach people more, and to just go out and share this kind of information. I think the Bible study we did really helped us to lay the foundations of why we're going out, and in turn that gave me personally a lot of confidence to go out. And it also just, it redefines the mission of why we're going out and spreading the gospel, and why we're trying to, lay these foundations that, people might not know are actually Christian foundations in these young guys. So
there is definitely different expressions and different ways to express Christ. That there is going to likely be ways and things that we're going to be like, I've never thought about it like that, or that is not how I do it. And so there's going to be challenges. But I think it's super important to be able to release control, and to not be super set in your ways. To not be like, this is the way I do it, this is the way it has to happen. No, it doesn't. If it's a minor thing, a minor point, we can do it another way. Like, let's actually work together. How can we learn? How can we work through this? I was working alongside David for Victory Summer School, and we're working on this specific component of the school, and it actually has a really cool idea behind it. So the idea behind Victory Summer School is to have people from different churches come, be equipped in all that God has for them, listen to what they believe God has called them to, and then sent back to their churches, which is really cool. So what happened was we were working together, and I don't even remember what it was about. It was a minor thing. It was probably about the structure of something, but it was not how I would do it. And I remember looking at my phone and being like, Emily, it's not wrong, it's just different. It's like, okay, like, let's actually learn from each other, rather than being like, no, we don't want that, like, that is so wrong. But being like, hey, you know what, like, this is a minor thing, let's actually, like, talk through this, let's work together. And how do you know Christ more through that? And working through things like that.